3 weeks ago today is the day that we took delivery of this Ferrari 488 Spider. It arrived to us on the back of a flatbed truck where we unloaded it at the doors of the Mad Dog's garage. We set about stripping all the damaged parts and getting it ready for a rebuild. And so far I reckon we've done a pretty good job. So we've taken the left hand side quarter apart at the back, which is the main bit of the damage. We've taken the intercooler off, we've taken the suspension arm off, we've taken the wheel off, we've taken the lower arm off, and it's revealed that we have some quite bad structural work here that needs doing. These will need replacing. We need to get someone to come and weld those in, but before we do that, we can now rebuild this quarter with all the parts that we've purchased that we can use to rebuild it. And hopefully by the end of this video, me and James should be able to reverse this car back out of the garage, and then it will tell us as well what lights are on the dash, and then we can see the next steps that we need to do to get this one back and ready for the road.
Let's do this nice and loose for a minute. Let's change this sensor over with a new one.
Cool, what is that sensor? The height sensor, so James is going to change this over now. So we managed to get a left hand and a right hand side ride height sensor from a breaker's yard down in Southampton. Replacing the sensor was easy. Just unscrew the two 10mm screws, check to make sure that we had the left hand unit, screw it back up and then clip it straight to the lower arm.
The car now knows what that's doing.
Magic. Right, so this is the old setup for the rear quarter. As we've already established, the suspension arm is damaged, it's bent, the drive shaft is knackered, and one or two of the arms are bent there, that one's bent. We obviously need the hub off of this, so we need to dismantle all of this to get the hub out, and then we'll also put a new suspension arm on the car, and then put the arms on and then see what happens. James has got the new suspension arm right here.
Let's see if we can locate this in.
So this came from the breakers down in Southampton as well. So I'm going to assume it came off the same car as the ride height sensor. So the suspension arm literally attaches at the top to these two bolts and goes in here at the bottom. What's there, like a pin that goes through?
Yeah, that goes through.
Through the arm there. Nicely. So we're going to put the bolts in, we're going to add some aluminium grease to the threads.
And a couple of turns, nice. So the bolt should slot through here. There.
We double checked against the old arm to make sure we had the correct washers and spacers in the right place, as we needed the bottom of the suspension arm to sit centrally in the new lower arm. Right, we've got the bottom of the shock in, which fits a lot nicer than it did the first time we tried it. So yeah, there was an extra sort of washer in there that we've had to use off the old one, which is sweet. So now we can tighten up the top of the shock, tighten up these two bolts up here, and that's a solid piece. Okay, so the drop link is coming off of the old one. There's no damage to that, so we're going to reuse that one. And that one fits from this point here down to this point here. Right, the next part we're going to do is the drive shaft. So as you can see, the old one is smashed to pieces in there. It's not very nice at all. So we have got a new one, or new second hand, and that's gonna go literally through there, bolt that on, sticks out here, and then we can go about putting the hub on. Well, we've actually got to get the old drive shaft off of this hub first, which might be a bit of a challenge. But we'll get it, we'll do it.
Get your shaft located. Right, trying to hold that there, look.
Right, the next thing we've got to put on is this
rear arms.
wrist, part of this rear arm, which we have got a new one down at Southampton off of Breaker's Yard. I will tell you as well though that this drive shaft isn't actually from a 488 Spider, it's from an F8. They use exactly the same parts numbers are the same, so that's pretty handy that we found that one. Good old eBay. Right, where's this arm attached from? So that one there.
Better get this one on.
Make sure we tighten it by hand. Now was the challenge to get the old drive shaft out of the hub. After trying the traditional way of smacking it with a mallet, we decided to try and push it out with James's hydraulic press. The only problem with that is that the drive shaft was too wide to fit through the gap at the base of the press. So our next idea was to get rid of the majority of the drive shaft by cutting through the seal, knocking the bearings out, leaving us with a surface for us to press against, which hopefully will push the drive shaft out of the hub. That's it, it's chopped out.
Another one.
There she is. See right through her. Right, so now we've got the drive shaft out of the hub, we can start putting the last few bits together and then we can get the wheel on. So this is what we're at the moment. So we've got the new drive shaft in, the new shock in, the new lower arm in, a couple of the arms, track rod are in. This piece though is the old piece and it is ever so slightly bent, so we will be replacing this. However, we haven't got a spare part for this now, so we're going to temporarily use this one just so that we can get the car on the floor and get it wheeled around the workshop, and then at a later stage we will be replacing this for a brand new one or brand new second hand. So yeah, let's get the hub on. Some aluminium paste.
Get some on there. Right, you've got a bolt.
Bolts. After struggling to get the hub on, we then struggled to connect up some of the arms as they were made up with rose bushings, which are a pain to fit. However, once fitted, we tightened down the hub onto the drive shaft with the original nut. This, like the upper control arm, will be replaced before we're driving it on the road. Next jobs would be put the disc brake on the caliper and then bleed the brake just so we've got some sort of brake, and then we can get the wheel on and then put the wheel on this side as well, and then I think we can take it off the axle stands and wheel it around and put it out of there. James, you get your car parking space back. Okay, so this is the old caliper from the car that we took off, and this piece on here is the handbrake motor. So basically when you put the handbrake on, a signal gets sent to this, and then electric goes through here, and then these two pads here goes, and they hold on until you release it, and it goes. This is damaged though. This is all smashed to pieces in here when we took it off, so we thought we would replace it. Now Ferrari want £900 for one of these, and we did a little second hand. They wanted £900 for that.
Ferrari wants 3,000.
Was it £3,000 they wanted?
Caliper.
Wow. So we did a little bit of googling. We managed to source them from another country. Here is one here. We managed to get this one for £29 delivered, and it is exactly the same thing. It wouldn't surprise me if it didn't come out of the same factory, to be fair. So yeah, not everything on this car is millions and millions and millions of pounds with Ferrari tax on it if you can source it elsewhere. So it is as simple as unbolting, is it 2 bolts or 3 bolts? 3 bolts, and then switching it over, and then it'll work. The ceramic disc was next to be fitted, which was so light that I could hold it out at arm's length. I rotated the disc to make sure that all the holes lined up, and then screwed in the 2 little bolts and tightened them home. We then set about reattaching the caliper, which is held on by 2 bolts. As usual, we greased up the threads with aluminium grease and tightened these up to the correct torque setting. James then reattached the brake line. Yeah, so what we could do once this is all tightened up is take the clamp off of the brake hose, which is this orange thing here, and then we can set about bleeding the brake, which should be nice and easy because we've not drained any fluid out apart from a little bit of that pipe. So
Jinx that now.
yeah, this is gonna be nice and easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. First things first, I topped up the brake fluid reservoir, which I found under the front bonnet. Then it was a matter of pressing the brake pedal on and off in sync with James opening and closing the bleed nipple. It didn't take too long before I had a firm feeling brake pedal.
Right, hold pressure.
Right, this is getting exciting now because we are getting to a point where this is nearly ready to at least get it on the ground and start the engine again. So we need to put on the intercooler, which we've got here, which actually came off an F8 as well. Did we get a new hose for it?
Yeah, it's a new hose.
This was our bod's job hose that we just to check to see whether the engine was working, but we do have a brand new hose for it. Well, brand new for us anyway. Which the intercooler sits right here. Unfortunately, some of this is going to have to come off again when we re-weld these sections.
Just the whole engine?
And the whole engine might have to come out, but yeah, we need to get this down to a point. Right, so intercooler. Let's get this baby on the car. Should we start her up? Right guys, as soon as we managed to get it moving on this video so far, please like and subscribe. This is only our second ever video for the Mad Dog's Garage. We're planning on doing loads of cars like this. We're going to go back to the 90s and do some old school classics as well. So yeah, please make sure you like and subscribe. Keep up to date with everything we're doing and all the videos we're going to be pumping out there. I'm sure you're going to have as much fun as we are. So yeah, punch that button.